we got the Jiu-Jitsu bug. I was like going to my wife and like doing armbar moves on her, practicing moves on her. So yeah, and then the first hot sauce became armbar.
Welcome to the Combat Creative Podcast, where we explore the heart of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, uncovering its creative, entrepreneurial, and leadership qualities with guests who embody what it means to be a leader in our BJJ community. Now on 3, 1, 2.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Combat Creative Podcast. And my question for you today is, are you a BJJ entrepreneur? Now, there's many of them in this space, everything from brand owners to personal brand influencers to academy owners. And today I have two real good friends of mine that are entrepreneurs within the space. They are Jae and Jason of Tapped Hot Sauce. Hello, guys.
Hey, Jared. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. I'm excited to have you guys here. We all kind of started training jiu-jitsu around the same time. So it's been neat to see, I think, like how you guys have evolved as practitioners, as well as I feel like I kind of remember when you were starting this idea. So my first question for you today is, can you share with us the inspiration behind starting Tapped and how that kind of intersects with your passion for jiu-jitsu?
Well, first, thank you for having us. And I'm really honored that it's our first podcast. Your first podcast is with us. Well, inspiration-wise, we always had this love for food. And we always wanted to incorporate food and good, healthy food into our diet. And, when you start practicing a martial art or even join like a fitness sport, you naturally become one like be healthier. So like hot sauce was a big daily thing I always use. So I started making my own because I didn't like some of the ingredients in it. And then I started making that, and I was giving it to my buddy Jason over here. Now became my business partner, and we just traded. And of course, we got the jiu-jitsu bug. And everything was related to jiu-jitsu, right? I was like going to my wife and like doing armbar moves on her, practicing moves on her. So yeah, and then the first hot sauce became armbar, and it's kind of how everything organically grew.
So Jason, how did he come to you? How did you hear about the idea, and how did you get involved?
Yeah, so I think it was after BJJ, and then we were talking in Slack. So we also worked together in the same company. And he said, Jason, do you want to try this hot sauce that I made? Yeah, I was like, sure. I like hot sauce too. I like spicy stuff. I like flavors. So I tried it, and I was amazed by it. Like, it was just too flavorful. It was nothing else I've ever tried. So that one is the armbar, which is curry flavored. And then we started coming up with like the company name. So my idea was that it's a submission, and I feel like all the hot sauces after that would be a submission too. And we thought about naming it Tapped Out at first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Jay shortened it to Tapped, because you're tapping out from the flavors and the heat and stuff.
I always really liked hot sauce, but I don't like hot sauce that is like just so hot it's not enjoyable. I like the flavor of hot sauce to where I can actually enjoy my food and the rest of my day. I remember when you gave me armbar, I really liked it. So, and we have a couple other flavors that we will talk about. Can you share like how long have you been doing this business? And like, what are some of the challenges that you've kind of faced starting this company, and what are you doing to overcome them?
We actually turned 2 this month.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so what are some of the challenges that you guys faced in these early stages, and what are you doing to overcome them?
I think for us, it's just visibility in our branding. So we're kind of new, and then nobody really knows about us. So we were thinking of ways to kind of market our product to the right people who would, like our hot sauces. So our main strategy for that one is to, post in social media, tell them about our sauces and how healthy it is.
And then what about as far as like making it's like, who's behind making a lot of these ideas, the new flavors?
Like the new flavors, everything was kind of organically like grown. Like we're like, hey, like we first had the armbar, and like I want something yellow. Like literally as dumb as that. I was like, I want something yellow and habaneros, right? So that's the first thing that caught my mind, and we threw some habaneros, miso, and then even the armbar has red tomatoes, but the bow and arrow has yellow tomatoes. Just to like, we kind of like trying to play around with ingredients, and like color is a big thing of us too, and that's another big challenge. Social media and growing the business is to be more like on brand with what we post and how people identify us, and it was like a big challenge, I think, still, and I think that's every company's challenge, right?
Yeah, I think this is a plug for them. I think their content's very well. I think when you go to the page, I don't think you're going to see the correlation right away. Not always. You'll see some elements of jiu-jitsu, but I think like if you like food in general, if you like the aesthetic of food, you're going to enjoy their page. And then they are starting to, they have always kind of incorporated little aspects of jiu-jitsu. But even if if you're not into that, I think you can find things in the page that you like. It's very good. But as far as what about obstacles of like, so now you have these flavors and I place an order. Yeah. Like, how do you fulfill all this stuff?
It's quite a challenge, Jared. Like, I mean, we're right now in the process of like, I think 2023, we had some growing pains and we were trying to figure out the kinks. And we finally found like a co-packer who's going to start producing all these sauces in like a large quantity. So hopefully that will figure out a lot of our production issues. Then once from there, we could start growing a little bit faster.
All right, so we have I know of 4 hot sauces. I have them in my house, all 4 of them. There's 2 chili oils and 2 sauces. So my next question is, and I want you to talk about at least share real quick each one and their name, flavor profiles, and then also like my question really is, how do you incorporate elements of jiu-jitsu into the hot sauce brand? Everything from naming to flavors.
So the armbar the flavors are very, armbar, which is the red one. The flavors are very like punchy, bold, like a lot of curry, heavy spices. So, armbar is very offensive, and it's a very popular jiu-jitsu move, and it's hence our most popular sauce too. So it goes really well. Bow and arrow, very sneaky. And I kind of like that too. It's very sneaky, and bow and arrow has the habanero peppers in it, but I also dial it down with some yellow bell. So it's like the heat it sneaks up on you, but you have to have a good amount to like kind of.
There's a sweet flavor to that one too.
Yes, and there's a pineapples in it. So I don't know. The bow and arrow choke isn't that sweet, but it's also sweet when you do it to someone.
Yeah, no, it's I love doing it. In fact, it's fun. Like at this new gym that I've been going to, like it's a very like fundamental, very good on like being good on your positioning and all these things. We do far less fancy jiu-jitsu. Yeah. It's very practical. However, one of my favorite moves I learned when I was training with you guys was the rolling bow and arrow. And so every once in a while, I still sneak that up.
Oh, is that the one you're on top of someone?
When they're a turtle. Yeah. So like when they go to turtle, you kind of like get it and then you step over them and then you roll. So anyways.
That's funny. So we learned that the other day.
Sneaky. Bow and arrow is sneaky. But I like that one because it's not just hot. It's actually, it does sneak. I feel like the heat sneaks up on you because it's sweet. Like you can try that one and not get the sweet flavor. And I love pineapple. So, Jason, what about the 2 chili oils? And which one do we have here?
So what we have here is the Kimura, which is the black garlic chili oil. I named it Kimura because of the Japanese aesthetics on it. Like Kimura sounds Japanese, and a lot of flavors in here are Asian. So we put black garlic in it. What else do we put here? We put shiitake, konbu, which is a Japanese seaweed. And then the other one is Dars. Dars is another jiu-jitsu choke. Yeah, so we have Dars chili oil, right? And Dars has the mala spice from the Szechuan peppers. And when you think of Dars, like it kind of starts loose and you tighten it up, right? And then like with Dars too, like you kind of get that as you eat more of it, the heat builds up and your mouth starts to numb. And the same sensation happens when you get choked, right? Like slowly get choked and then you're dead,
Yeah, it comes. That's the thing about like chokes. As far as arm locks happen. They happen pretty quick.
Yeah.
But chokeholds, they really kind of you can fight them for a while. But just for me as just somebody who like enjoys these on the regular basis, I think I mean, my wife can even say, even my kid who's here behind me, like, I think we put Kimura on almost I don't know what we don't put it on. Like, I put it on a lot of things. And then we use arm bar a lot as like an alternative to like Tabasco-ish. Anything that you would use, something like that, we use arm bar. But can you, Jay, just real quick, what pairs well with maybe each one of these, or what do you like? Just for anybody who's like, what the heck is chili oil? Because I was that.
So I remember when I first met Jared and I gave him a few bottles of the chili. You were like, "What the hell do I put this on?"
Well, what helps is they actually go on their Instagram and they actually show me what to put it on. That actually really helps because I enjoy cooking. So I would actually go on there and be like, "Oh, I could try this." So.
So the Dars, which is a very aromatic, fragrant chili oil, which has a lot of Sichuan peppers. That's great with like more of like a blank canvas kind of food, like noodles, dumplings, and so on. And then the Kimura is heavy, gritty, garlicky, sesame in it. So it's good with like meat. I love it with fish. Like I definitely I eat a lot of meat, so I've been doing the carnivore diet. Yeah. So I've been using the Kimura a lot, and all our stuff has no added sugar unless it's like from fruits, and we only add like monk fruit sugar, so we don't add any added calories to it. So which I gravitate towards a lot.
What about the two sauces, Jason? What do you like to use armbar for and bow and arrow?
Yeah, so for armbar, I like it on breakfast sandwiches and eggs. So compared to the bow and arrow, this is less spicy. So in the mornings, I don't want it to be too spicy. That would burn me. So I want something milder, which armbar is perfect for. Bow and arrow is perfect for like tacos, pizza. If you want some added kick onto your food, bow and arrow.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've used it for. We have 4 flavors, and we have 3 of them here. Do you see any future ones coming? And if so, like, how do you go about that process?
Oh yeah, whatever inspires us. And we have 2 more, like one's hot sauce and one chili oil that we are planning to launch. I really like truffle. That's all I'm gonna say. No, is that? Yeah.
No, I mean that's the one I tried, and that's the one that I got about like halfway down the bottle, and it fell out of the fridge and it shattered everywhere. So that was a sad day. How do you guys balance your roles of being jiu-jitsu practitioners against being entrepreneurs in the space?
So for me, I think the main, like I try to put jiu-jitsu first, and because I love the sport, and it's really, I want to be jiu-jitsu, and so I try to put jiu-jitsu first. But and there's times also in business, running a business, like sometimes you have to hold back and so on. So I try to be mindful of it. If I'm skipping too much days because of something, then I'm like, hey, I'm going to cut back on this little part of the business that doesn't really matter, and I'm going to just go to an extra class, And I feel like just having that mindset kind of helps me like balance myself out,
Oh, for me, like food is a big part of training too. And then like when I think about the sauces, and what meals I would eat after doing BJJ, I think they just go hand in hand, eating good food, staying healthy, and training well.
So what advice would you have for others looking to start a business within the combat sport niche, Jason?
Yes, I think doing BJJ is an advantage because we know the insides and outs of it. And when making content related to it, we understand it on a deeper level. So like, for example, like if you get like a generic marketing marketing firm to market your stuff, they'll look at jiu-jitsu on a superficial level, When they think of jiu-jitsu, it's just like fancy stuff, like bold moves, But for us, like jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle, It's about family and stuff, and we kind of like to integrate that with our content. For example, like I did this content from a week ago where the bottles were doing a bow out after a BJJ class. And like I know that normal people wouldn't get it, but it resonates very well with people who do BJJ.
Absolutely. I like that one. And as I travel, I have the privilege of traveling for work, and I go to different gyms, and everyone kind of does the formal stuff differently. But I don't know that anybody who hasn't trained hasn't experienced that. So that was a great point.
Maybe next time we could do like bunch of hot sauces and we hit them with the belt.
The gauntlet they call it. Yes,
You experienced it.
I experienced the gauntlet, and I have a video of it somewhere. I didn't love it. Thankfully, I try to be a really nice person to everybody wherever I'm training. Watching back on the video, I think some people were nice to me. Yeah. And then actually watching back, some of the quiet people, I think were the ones who went a little. They went a little out of the woodwork. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know you had such pent up anger. But
is there a chance to hit back?
I remember when I got my blue belt, and I'm not gonna name drop here, but like a purple belt was just like, boom. Back and forth, I'm like, hit my face. I'm like, you mother.
Oh, I was just watching a post today where this white belt, he got his 4th stripe, and they put him through the gauntlet. They do the gauntlet, and then the comments were like, man, you guys do the gauntlet for stripes? And then for stripes, he was just getting stripes. And then some of the comments were like, just like with any community, I love the jiu-jitsu community, but I think everybody kind of like wants to think that their way is best, but they're like, a white belt should never whip a blue belt in the gauntlet because they haven't gotten to that level. Anyways.
I mean, but like that's the thing too. Like we're in the combat space, and sometimes we freaking hate that, but we gotta earn that respect too, Like, and it's hard. It's hard. Like that's why we try to like focus on jiu-jitsu and not just own a jiu-jitsu brand, but be true and like go to jiu-jitsu, practice our art.
Yeah. Can you share a memorable moment or experience you've had while building this hot sauce brand? Like that one that stands out to you, whether it's you being in your kitchen or spilling something, or I don't know.
For me, it was last year. I tore my meniscus. I got married, right? I was supposed to get married. And so it was 2 weeks before I got injured. And then I ended up getting surgery the week after. So I have a week towards the wedding, right? And then we did another podcast for Orlando News. And they never didn't let us know. And I'm not like upset at it at all, definitely. But I woke up after the surgery from because I was put down. I woke up, it was like 4:00, and I had like $1,000 worth of orders, and that's a lot for us, especially like shipping. Yeah, for a new business. And I was just like, oh my god. And then like thankfully I have Jason here. He came over that whole week, helped me like we had to make sauces, bottle them, ship them. It was that I remember that for sure. Like it was.
Yeah, he was in the kitchen with crutches on, trying to help me.
Do you have a picture of that?
I think I do. Yeah.
I feel like you do. I'll send it to you. Send it to me if you do. But I mean, I remember that because I remember when it happened, and then because I was there that night when it happened, and I remember who did it, and stinking visitor. But I mean, just like accidents happen, and then I remember that going live and watching it, and then I remember you guys telling me that you got orders because I always I'm very interested in like the growth because I care about it. I think it's cool seeing people like when I see you get a video that goes semi-viral or viral, like I like knowing, hey, did that turn into anything? Yeah. But I remember that. And I do think you do post a picture. I think somebody posted a story or something you on crutches. Because I remember then you got married and did you have crutches at the wedding?
Yeah, I was like, I had crutches in the wedding.
But I mean, you guys overcame it, and I'd be curious to know, like, of all those people that ordered, I mean, a small portion of them maybe have continued, and so you never know. But Jason, what's something that's been memorable that's kind of like stuck out to you in these 2 years of doing this?
Well, so what happened was that I posted a video like that day, so I thought it went viral, but it wasn't. It was the podcast thing. So I called him right away and like Jay, like what should we do with this thing? And like I know he couldn't move, so like what's the game plan here? So that night I went to Staples and get all the packing supplies so I could start packing the stuff that we need. But still, because I don't really do the hot sauces. It was he mainly does the hot sauces. I do the chili oils. So like we had to set that week and make sauces at his apartment. All with Jay in his crutches in the kitchen, just telling me what to do. So that was kind of stressful.
Good times.
What are your future goals or aspirations for Tapped Hot Sauce within like jiu-jitsu and maybe even beyond?
Yeah, so right now we're planning to make our brand like a lifestyle brand. So not just limited to sauces, but also like production, for example, sponsoring more athletes, helping kids go to Pans, for example, to compete. But the main goal right now is trying to grow the brand so we could get there.
Yeah. What about you?
That's the same. Like we're trying to keep growing the brand, staying true to the brand, just keep making some kick-ass hot sauces and things that we will actually enjoy and eat ourselves, So, yeah, continue doing that. Also, at the same time, like get better at jiu-jitsu, get better as a person. And I mean, we would love to eventually like hire more people and just be more everywhere in the United States. So, yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being my first guest on this podcast and letting me come into your home, Jay, and set up all this stuff. Guys, if you would like to, I want to encourage you to go check out their social media. Where can they find you online?
Instagram, Tap Sauce, and then it's tapsauce.com and Tap Sauce on Facebook and TikTok.
Love it. So guys, go ahead and check out their social media. Visit their website. We're going to do a promo. We're going to give you a chance to get 20% off your first order of hot sauce using promo code Combat Creative. Thank you so much for watching with all the podcasts and videos you could be watching on the internet. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Us.
Thanks, Jared.